morning, I'm joined by Suresh Withana from Harmony Capital, the investment advisors for Adamas Finance Asia. Suresh, good morning.
Good morning, Andrew. Great to see you.
And good to have you with us. Look, firstly, I'm keen to get an assessment from you, Suresh. What's your view on the current situation, specifically where Asia is concerned?
Well, as you know, we've got a lot of people on the ground in Asia. Our offices operate out of Singapore and Hong Kong. We have a number of investments in Asia. In fact, we're solely focused on Asia. So we have quite a lot of on-the-ground intelligence that we're picking up. My general assessment is that Asia is recovering. Things are getting better in terms of the virus. I'm no expert, but obviously the numbers suggest that countries are starting to bring things under control, all the way from China across the region. And, you know, things are certainly improving for people on the ground there. Lockdowns and so on are starting to be slowly relaxed in some countries. But the economic environment, which is what we're sort of most concerned about, this has been, you know, I guess, showing some green shoots in certain parts of Asia. And we firmly believe, we've been saying consistently, that we think Asia is going to lead the world out of this crisis. And we're very excited about the potential opportunities as a result.
And you personally, you've been through one or two of these cycles previously.
Unfortunately, yes. My beard probably gives it away, but I've seen several crises going all the way back, financial crisis, which maybe some of your viewers may not even remember. There's been a number of global crises I've been involved with as a manager, as an investment manager. And the one thing is always true, which is that when things seem very bad, it's when the best opportunities present themselves. And we feel this is exactly the same in a sense. Once things recover, we don't know how long it will take, but we do think there'll be a lot of opportunities in the SME space in Asia, which is where obviously Adamas Finance Asia focuses.
And how's the portfolio performing at the moment, generally speaking?
It's never easy being invested in the SME space in Asia while there's a crisis that brings the entire region to a standstill. So there's no point mincing words around that. I think the reality is that what we have been focused on in the last 6 months, really, but certainly in the last 3 months in particular, in Asia, is really just focusing on our portfolio companies, making sure we stay close to management. We know what the companies are doing. We're an active investment manager at Harmony Capital, so we don't give people money and then tell them to call us back in 10 years when everything's worked out. We are engaged with companies. In some cases now, I'm on weekly calls with my team in Asia with the senior management of companies, understanding what's happening week to week, not just month to month. Or quarter to quarter. So we'd like to engage with our portfolio companies. That's the price of having us as an investor, and particularly in tough times. So I would say as an overall view, there aren't any huge surprises in our portfolio that I can see. Times are tough, there's no doubt about it, but we think we're well positioned to come out of this crisis and then, as I said, take advantage of new opportunities that will inevitably present themselves.
Is there a decent pipeline of opportunities that you've spotted so far?
Absolutely. I was actually even on a call this morning, my apologies, with my team in Asia. And we discuss regularly new opportunities that are presenting themselves, and they're starting to accelerate. One thing to bear in mind, and for your viewers to bear in mind, is that the Asian SME space, the small and medium enterprise space, was already starved of capital, as we've discussed on many occasions before, prior to this crisis starting. As a result of this crisis, banks are going to be even more conservative than previously. Governments are trying to encourage those banks to support the SME sector, but with a $2.7 trillion funding gap before this crisis, you can imagine how much demand there will be for capital coming out of it. So that's the macro view. And at the micro level, we're seeing new opportunities right now on a weekly basis, literally.
Are you still continuing with your share buyback at the moment?
We haven't recently. We did announce some part of the buyback being activated, I think it was in December of 2019, just to take out some overhang that we perceived it, which was received very well by the market, actually. Once we took out that overhang, that sort of forced seller, then there was a bit of action in our price. So yes, it's still there. The buyback is still in place, and it's really there to help and provide some confidence to the market, hopefully.
And I think when you and I last spoke, you were looking to increase activity from a trading perspective. You're now active on a number of platforms. How's that worked out for you?
Well, in a sense, being in the middle of this maelstrom over the last 2 or 3 months, in a sense, being a small AIM-listed company, we've been maybe looked over by a lot of investors because they've been focusing on bigger problems, maybe bigger companies, more liquid companies that they've had in our portfolio. So our stock price has actually remained relatively stable, and I say relative to the market. We still absolutely want to increase the liquidity of our trading stock. We want to improve the visibility of our story. And given what is happening in Asia, and as I said, as we believe Asia is going to lead us out of this crisis, to lead the world really out of this crisis, and with Adamas Finance Asia being focused solely on Asia, we think it's a great opportunity for people to start looking at us even more seriously now.
Suresh, nice to see you. Thanks very much.
Great to see you, Andrew. Take care.